Hi, my name is Karen Knight and I am the Vegan Amateur. Today I'm going to be making roasted sriracha cauliflower bites with peanut dipping sauce. I got this recipe from my new favorite cookbook, Thug Kitchen. I think that this is something that's been out for a while, but I just got it for Christmas. So I've been going through and marking all of the recipes that I want to try, and this one stuck out, just a nice snack. I think it could be something that would be really good for a party situation, you know, just a casual get together. I'm just having it for an afternoon snack with my husband. So I am going to cut down the recipe as I usually do because it makes quite a lot. It asks for 2 heads of cauliflower, and that's probably a little bit too much for just me and Andy. I'm going to go ahead and get started preparing the cauliflower. I've done a lot of stuff ahead of time, chopping and measuring, so hopefully that will make things easier for us. But the first thing that we want to do is mix some flour and water together to make a little bit of a batter coating for the cauliflower. I've preheated the oven, or I am preheating the oven to 200 degrees Celsius or 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's right. I'm not completely positive. I didn't actually look it up, which I should have done, but I think it's about right. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is make my batter. I have got a 1/4 cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of water. I'm only going to add a little bit at a time. That's because I want to whisk it all together and get it all combined, and we don't want lumps. So if you do it slowly or just a little bit at a time, that helps to prevent getting lumps. My lovely lumps. And if you do get lumps on this one, unfortunately, it's a situation where you need to start again. So you don't want big clumps of flour clinging to your cauliflower that you're going to be coating with this mixture. Cauliflower is a little bit of an interesting vegetable. I don't think I've used it that much recently, but it's one of those things that has been coming out as one of the more versatile vegetables for taking on a lot of flavor. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking 1 head of cauliflower that I have separated into sort of bite-sized florets. Some of these are maybe bigger than bite-sized, but that's probably about the size you want them to be. Just toss these around until everything looks nice and coated. I think that this is going to be key to getting things nice and crispy. I'm really hungry, and we had cauliflower, so I thought, let's go with this recipe. There will be more substitutions this time because I didn't actually have a couple of things, but I think that they're okay substitutions. I don't think it's anything that's going to take away from the recipe. Next, we want to get this all onto a baking sheet. This has been greased or oiled with a little bit of sunflower oil. I think you can use olive oil or coconut oil or whatever you have, really. I'm just spreading these out so everything gets a good chance to cook. But there we go. You can see all coated. Nice and simple, all on the tray, spread out quite evenly. And I'm going to stick these into the oven for 15 minutes. And now we get to spend some time making our sauces. We'll get going on our hot sauce. So hot sauce is literally a bunch of stuff into a pot, warmed up. I've started out with some coconut oil. Should be a teaspoon. Yeah, about a teaspoon of coconut oil. If you haven't used coconut oil before, it has got a very, very low melting point. So if you've got it in a cooler room, it'll be solid. If it's a warmer room, it'll melt and turn into a liquid form. What I'm using is, again, nothing fancy. It's Coco Loco coconut oil from Aldi. And you want to get the stuff that's like organic and extra virgin coconut oil. Right, you can see I've hardly had it on So we've got the oil, and then I've got a 1/4 cup of sriracha. If you're not familiar with sriracha, it's just a Thai chili sauce, some garlic involved in the flavors there. It is quite spicy, so if you don't like spicy food, sriracha is not for you. If you don't like garlic, it's also not for you. I'm gonna go ahead and put that into the sauce. That's all in there. This is another one of those recipes that is mostly dumping things into a pot and heating them up or mixing them up. You know, my favorite kind of recipe, just everything super easy. This is 1/8 of a cup of rice vinegar. I didn't have rice vinegar, so I've just got sushi vinegar for sushi rice, which I've used before in recipes, and I think it's a fine substitution. If you watched any of my other videos yet, you will probably see a little bit of a theme with substitution, because I'm all about using what you have, you know, and not having to make trips to the store or special ingredients. And usually you have something in your cupboard that will make do, and it's not going to take away from the flavor. And then we've got to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of soy sauce or tamari. I don't have tamari, so I'm using soy sauce. Not a substitution. This is something that is actually in the recipe, but you can use either or. 1/4 teaspoon. Measuring over the pot again, which I believe I've said not to do before. Oh, I almost went a little overboard there, but it's fine. Right, so I'm just going to heat this up. It should be bubbling or boiling or anything like that. And then when we've got that nice and warm, we're gonna do our peanut dipping sauce. Now, this recipe for some reason suggests you put everything into a glass. I'm not gonna use a glass. I'm just gonna grab a bowl to mix the peanut dipping sauce. I've got a 1/4 cup of warm water. Oh, sorry, make that 1/8 of a cup, because remember I'm having the recipe. So 1/8 of a cup of warm water. We've got some peanut butter, and that should be 1/8 of a cup of peanut butter as well. It's supposed to be creamy peanut butter. But guess who didn't have creamy? Me. So it's actually a little bit of crunchy peanut butter in there as well. You need a few textures, so it's fine. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. So that means I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. 2 tablespoons of lime juice, but that's obviously just 1 tablespoon of lime juice, so I've got quite a lot here. Tablespoon is about half of a small lime. And then 2 teaspoons of fresh ginger. I'm just going to tell you about a trick that I learned about recently, and that is taking your ginger and putting it in the freezer and bringing it out and grating it as and when you need it. That way you've always got fresh ginger. You don't have to worry about buying ginger. It's going bad if you're not using it. Just something that, again, you always have like one of those kinds of ingredients at your disposal. You won't have to make a special trip to the grocery store just to buy a ginger root for special recipes. Right, so that's going to be 1 teaspoon of my fresh grated ginger. Hopefully you can see. And then a teaspoon, or in this case, half a teaspoon of maple syrup or agave syrup. Here comes another substitution. I'm going to use date syrup because I have neither nor, either or. I'm not sure if I said that right. Oh, I did say I was gonna whisk, didn't I? There's me mixing. So I should be whisking until everything gets incorporated. I'm just going to add a bit more peanut butter. Should be a dipping sauce, not a peanut butter drink. Although peanut butter drink sounds kind of nice. Maybe not for this recipe. Oh, almost missed. I should have a half a teaspoon. Whoa. Ah, I somehow missed my clothes. Woohoo. Although I did get it all over my shoes. Oh well. Half a teaspoon of soy sauce. I'm having a little bit of a moment about my shoes, so if you can see me looking down, it's because It's taking all my strength not to actually get a paper towel and clean them up. There we go. Look at that. Lovely dipping sauce. Mostly creamy, a little bit crunchy, a little bit crunchy. That's okay, we like a little bit of excitement. I'm going to put this in a bowl. We've only got a few more minutes to wait for the cauliflower. A couple more steps in the process, and we're almost there. Okay, we have our cauliflower out of the oven after our 15 minutes is up. There has been some stickage, but nothing too crazy. No crises going on here. I'm gonna just get all of this back into a bowl, and I'm gonna coat it with that sriracha sauce we made earlier. You can see some of the pieces are nice and brown and crispy looking. Right, I'm gonna give that another stir just to make sure everything's kind of mixy. Nice and spicy. Get them all coated. Don't want any bare spots. So I guess the flour and water mixture that we put on to begin with is supposed to sort of help it be a little bit more crunchy. Going back onto the pan because this is going right back into the oven for another 15 minutes. In the oven, same temperature, same time.
Same bad station.
15 minutes, clock is started, and we'll be back soon. Okay, the 15 minutes is up, and it's time to get them out. Whew, hot in there. Oh! That's what you want out of your oven. Oh dear. Some of them are a little blackened. I think that you may have had the heat up a little bit too high. Alright, I'm going to scrape these off of the pan. That sounds nice. I'm going to scrape it off the pan and eat it. So I have to say, they're not super crunchy from what it feels like getting them off of the baking tray here. So hopefully that is made up for in flavor. Let me get them all into this bowl. I could probably eat that all by myself. Alright. This guy. The recipe suggests serving with cucumber sticks. So I've done that while I was waiting for the cauliflower to cook. Alright, we've got our peanut dipping sauce all ready. Now's the moment of truth. Right, I'm going to try one first without the peanut dipping sauce. I'm going to try things a little bit separately actually, just because I want to see what the flavors are like. And then we'll try it all together. Ooh, ooh. Spicy. You don't like spice, not necessarily the recipe for you. That's nice on its own for me. I do like a little bit of a kick though. Nothing too much, but a little bit of a kick sometimes is nice. I'm just gonna taste the dipping sauce on its own as well. It's really nice. It has that sort of sweet creaminess from the peanut, and then there's a little bit of tang to it, and I'm guessing that's coming from the lime juice and the vinegar. It's really kind of nice together. It's not something I would have thought of, although I guess you get that in some Thai recipes, that sort of peanutty sauce. Anyway, now for the moment of truth with just actually trying them together. So we've got the spice, creamy, sweet, tanginess. Gonna put it all together just to see what it's like. It's really good. It's actually really delicious. I really like this. It wasn't too fiddly to make. There was quite a bit of measuring going on, but like actually cooking it was just The only cooking bit was sticking stuff in the oven. Just measuring, mixing, putting things together. But generally, I think it was probably pretty easy, and I'd do it again. It was yummy. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed that, and hope you try it because it was really good. That is Thug Kitchen recipe, roasted sriracha cauliflower bites with peanut dipping sauce. And for me, it's a winner. So thank you, and have a good one.